Good morning and welcome to this week's podcast at Hong Kong International University. Today, we will be discussing music, and we have invited a guest today. Her name is Professor Jackie Wong, who teaches music at our university. Welcome to our show, Jackie.
Thank you for having me here today. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming, Jackie. So, we'd like to talk to you about the music competition coming next month. Could you tell us more about it?
Definitely. The music competition is one of my favorite events each year. And this year, there is a special theme.
What is it?
The theme of this year's music competition is folk singing. That means all students who enter the competition must sing a folk song.
I see. And is folk singing popular in Hong Kong?
Not really, and that's why we hope more people will become interested in that after participating in this competition.
Great. And where will the competition take place?
Last year, it was in the main auditorium, but we expect the attendance to be higher this year, so we will hold it in the Grand Hall instead.
I see. So, main auditorium is not as good, but this place has definitely a few more seats. I'll make a note of it in my calendar then. Grand Hall. Great. Now, as you know, this year our school will be holding a string instrument exhibition at our museum, and I know you're organizing this as well. Could you tell us a bit more about this?
Sure. This year, our university will be holding an exhibition in the museum on June 13th, and the focus is on string instruments.
And what is so special about these instruments?
Many of them are hundreds of years old. For instance, we have a violin from 1728.
Wow, 1728? That violin is almost 300 years old.
Yes, another example is a cello that was donated to us from Italy.
Italy is famous for its cellos. This must be a very special cello then.
Yes, and we also have a viola, spelled Viola, that was used by the King of England.
Interesting. So if the King of England plays this viola, it must be of really high quality.
Indeed it is.
Great. So something else I want to talk to you about is the Music for Kids program.
Yes, I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it. Could you tell me more?
Sure. The Music for Kids program helps children learn music.
I see. That's very meaningful. And is it a new program or has it been around for a long time?
Well, the program has been around for many years already. To be exact, it is already 10 years old.
I see. That's quite long already. 10 years is about the amount of time I have worked in this university.
Yes, and the goal of this program is to make students who participate more interested in music.
I see. I once heard a student telling me that she participated in this program and she totally loved it.
Of course, it's a wonderful program, and most students who participate say they become more interested in music. Well, Jackie, let's move on to the last proportion of this podcast. We have some questions from our audience members. Let's take a look at this first email from a student, Tiffany. Her email asks, Professor Wong, I am a first-year student here at the university, majoring in music. I'm thinking of traveling abroad, but I'm not sure which program to choose. I can choose between studying in France or Canada. Which do you think is a better choice?
Thanks, Tiffany. That's a great question. And a lot of students face the problem of deciding where to study. I would say that Canada is a good choice because of the cost of living is lower. It's much cheaper to study abroad in Canada. Also, one benefit is that the classes will be conducted in English.
Yes, you're right. If you want to study in France, you'll have to be able to speak French, unlike Canada where classes are in English.
But on the other hand, Tiffany, if you're fluent in French, studying in France is a great choice as well because there are many museums that will teach you about the history of music.
Yes, I visited those museums before, and they taught me a lot about music.
Yes, you're right, Sam. So I'd say it really depends on what you're looking for, Tiffany. If you still have any question, feel free to email me. You can find my email on the university website's directory.
Okay, thanks. Well, let's have another question from an audience member. Let's see. Okay, here's an email from Samson. His email says, I'm a third-year student here majoring in music. I'm applying for jobs, and I'm not sure what the options are. Can you tell me what jobs are available to a music major?
Sure, I can help, as I've written many recommendation letters for students before. One option you can consider is to become a music teacher after graduation. I was actually a music teacher for several years before I became a professor here at the university.
That's great, Professor Wong. Are there any other career paths available? What about for students who want to perform rather than teach?
Well, these days it's becoming interestingly common for students to have uncommon career paths. I know one student who turned down an offer to go to graduate school to become a street performer.
What? A street performer? Can they make a living?
Apparently, yes. I talked to the student recently, and he told me that he makes $600 an hour, which is more than teaching music at a school.
Wow, $600 is a lot of money for 1 hour. Maybe I should change jobs too.
Yes, don't underestimate how much money people can make.
You're right, Professor Wong. Anyway, that's all we have for today. Stay tuned to next week's program when we'll discuss art with Professor Gregory.
That is the end of the recording. You will now have 1 hour and 15 minutes to read the rest of the data file and complete the tasks. Please switch off your radio.